Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgium Beer Brothers channel. As you guys have noticed, I took a break after the Brussels Beer Project Advent calendar, and after the holidays I had some very busy weeks. But hey, we're back, and yeah, what can I tell you guys? I had a chance to have a party. Well, actually, I didn't have a party. One of the brothers, De Kok from Brewery De Kok, had a party. He had his birthday. They had a Instagram contest, and yeah, anyone could enter and win a beer pack of their lovely beers. And lo and behold, I won. So someone had a birthday, and I'm getting gifts for it. What's not to like about that? Now, I say Brewery De Kok, and what can I tell you about these guys? They're two brothers, and they started brewing in November 1987 in their childhood home at Powder Street in Sinpalsken. And I mention where it is because that's quite important in this story. They started brewing in their mom's biggest pots. They brewed about 8 liters of beer, fermented in a bucket, as many of us have started, and actually they never stopped brewing afterwards. On the contrary, in 1996, Koen, one of the brothers, finished brewing school, and he became an official engineer brewer or brewing engineer, and that kind of marked the official start of the brewery. The brewery is still located at Powder Street at Sinpalsken. That's actually where I went to pick up this lovely pack. It's still located at their childhood home, only they have moved it like 100 yards back into the backyard, and they built a tiny brewery for themselves. Now they are still brewing. They have their 2 flagship beers, Sinpalsken, Blond and Dark. I'll tell you more about that later. And yeah, actually they have a cool a way of brewing, a cool philosophy. They have 5 core values, being passion, knowledge, durability, locality, and social engagement. And it's not just a pretty story, because they actually do things with that. And I don't think that I have to explain the passion part. They brew with passion, they drink with passion, as we all do. The knowledge part, well, if you're brewing for 35 years, and like this beer has been around for 25 years because they made it in 1996, and you are a educated brewing engineer, I'd say there's no lack of knowledge there. When it comes to durability, they do try their best, and they use only return packaging, so no single-use packaging. Locality is another thing that they really like to keep. Of course, if you are located after 30 years at the spot where you started with a bucket and a cauldron, yeah, I'd say locality is one of your strong suits. And when it comes to social engagement, they have bought a old windmill. I believe it is the highest stone-built windmill in Flanders, or even in Belgium. And it's an old historic 1847 windmill. They restored it. They even made it back up and running. So technically you could mill there right now. And they open it up for the public. They organize concerts in there. You can have your wedding in there. All kinds of things. So yeah, they do a lot for the community, mainly the local community at Waasland, where they are located. And when it comes to their knowledge again, they have a lot of knowledge. And if you look at their website or any list, you see that they technically only have 2 beers. And that's not entirely true, because they are actually specialized in making personalized beers. They have, I believe, a list of 5 or 6 standard beers that you can choose from and personalize your packaging. But they actually do offer people to just come in and create their own beers with them. So that's quite cool. And of course, if you're a small brewery, that's something you can do. Now, let's talk about this beer. The package that they got me, or that I won actually, had several of the beers, a few blonde, a few dark, and this lovely glass. And since I collect beer glasses, yeah, I was a sucker for that. And I do want to explain a bit about this. I talked about the old Roman mill, the old windmill, and that is not coincidentally their logo. And I will post a picture up here somewhere, a detailed picture of this. Yeah, I like it. It's a single color print glass, and it is one of my favorite shapes of glasses. I believe this is the executive glass. Quite a large one. It's a 33 centiliter, but it's a heavy, sturdy one. So yeah, I like these. When it comes to the beer, this is a Sinpalsken Blond, and it's a beer with a bit of history. It's this year it celebrates its 25th anniversary, but apart from that, it's mainly like the name Sinpalsken. It's named after the place where they're brewing. So I told you this brewery is located at Powder Street in Sint-Pauwels, East Flanders. But actually, when we look closer, it's not really Sint-Pauwels, it's a part of Sint-Pauwels, and it's called Sint-Pauwels. And Sint-Pauwels is Dutch or Flemish for St. Paul's. And St. Paul's is actually the name of the place. They also have an 1480s Gothic church, St. Paul's Church. And St. Paul's was founded in 1234, which is a year that I can remember because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And it was founded way back then. It's been around for 800 years, and they still only have about 4,500, maybe 5,000 inhabitants. So it's a very tiny village. But people that live there, and I know this because my aunt lives there, people that live there are very proud people and proud of the place where they're living. It's small, it's very green, there's a lot of nature, and it's a large community actually. So I think that's something that we should admire. Me living in a big city, not so much community feel. About the beer itself, it is a strong blonde or a blonde ale. It's an 8.5% ABV. As I said, invented in 1996. It is a top fermented blonde beer. It is re-fermented in the bottle. And what I've read about it is that it's made with quite standard recipe that they perfected. Barley malt, some hops, some Saaz hops as aroma hops, and the yeast that they use should add in some fruity notes and flavors. So I am very curious. I can't actually tell you a lot more about this. So yeah, I guess we should just skip to the fun part and let's have a taste. Some nice large pearls coming up there when I open it. It is rather active. It has a tiny bit of yeast at the bottom. Not a lot. A nice white, slightly off-white head of foam. And I see a lot of large bubbles clinging to the side of the glass, but I I kind of suspect that it's because this is a new glass and I haven't decreased it yet. So I did rinse it with some water, didn't decrease. I see some large bubbles forming on the side here from the foam, meaning that the head of foam will disappear quite quickly. There it goes. And that is most entirely my fault, because I didn't properly decrease my glass. We will not see this with the dark ale when I talk about that one, because then I will have decreased the glass. Let's talk about the color a bit. Honestly, I thought that this would be a paler blonde beer, a more yellowy golden ale, and in fact this seems to be more amber orangey, let's call it a more coppery gold, a bit darker than I expected. Very, very clear. I can see the windmill right through the glass, so that's nice. And even though the glass isn't engraved at the bottom, I see some tiny pearly bubbles purling up. So that's a good thing as well. The smell is rather sweet. A slight alcoholic scent. Doesn't smell that strong, so sweet, a bit fruity, as they promised us. Not that heavy at all, so, and what just catches my eye is that despite not decreasing the glass, a nice ½ centimeter of foam stays on. So yeah, well done, Koen. Okay, very nice. I do believe the drinkable part. It tastes a lot heavier than it smells. I do get a lot more of the alcohol, the booziness in the taste. It has a very rich, full mouthfeel. It's not creamy at all. It's actually quite in there. Yeah. Quite malty as well. And it's slightly bitter, but not that much. It's bitterness is more in the back of the mouth, the back of the tongue, more in the throat. But it is very well balanced between bitter and sweet. So yeah. No big surprises here. It doesn't have any bells or whistles, no sour edge, no. It's actually just a very well brewed beer. Quite a lot of carbonation in there as well, but not in a bad way, which is always nice. Yeah, and in the aftertaste we also get that same balance between bitter and sweet fighting for our attention, and I do think that this is brewed like this intentionally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I believe this is it. Overall, a very well made beer, nice taste. Of course, this is all subjective, but I like it. And I think that if I'm ever back in St. Paul's or around there, St. Gilles, they have some cool festivals. Yeah, I'll surely order one of these again. Anywho, all that's left for me to say is, well, thanks a lot for the package. I want it fair and square, but nonetheless, thanks a lot, guys. Um, Happy birthday and also happy anniversary on the 25 years of Sinpalsken. And I will see you guys again. To all of you watching, if you like this, like, subscribe, maybe leave a comment if you've ever tasted it or you have some suggestions or some thoughts or questions. Yeah, go ahead, shoot. I'll try to answer anything as good as I can to my knowledge. And yeah, I hope to see you guys again for the next review. Cheers.